Hi, it's Mrs. Kulik here with math. Wish we were at Whitehead Road Elementary School, but today we'll be doing math from my kitchen. Okay, today we'll be talking about polygons again, and a special type of polygon, which is a quadrilateral. Okay, and we've already learned that a polygon is a shape made of straight lines that is closed, and that a quadrilateral has four sides. Well, there's different types of quadrilaterals. There is a quadrilateral that could be a kite. A kite is four-sided, it's closed, and the opposite sides or adjacent sides are congruent. So that means this side and this side are the same length, and this side and this side is the same length. And that would be a kite. And remember, a kite is four sides, so it's also a quadrilateral. A different type of quadrilateral is called a trapezoid. A trapezoid is a quadrilateral because it has four sides, and it has one set of parallel sides. You need to remember that parallel sides are like train tracks, and they would never touch if you extended them out. So you can see that the top and bottom, even if you keep continuing them, they would never touch. Those are parallel. The opposite sides here are not parallel because if you continue them, they would cross up at the top here. So this would be called a trapezoid. Trapezoids can look like this. Here's a trapezoid. You can see their parallel sides are the top and bottom here. These are not parallel because this one would come and cross this one over here somewhere. This is also a trapezoid. The parallel sides are the top and bottom, and the sides here would cross if you continued going down. So remember, a trapezoid is a special type of quadrilateral. All right, at least one pair of parallel sides is a trapezoid, but if it has two sets of parallel lines, it's called a parallelogram. A parallelogram looks like this. It is a trapezoid because it has at least one pair of parallel sides. It really has two. It has the top and bottom, and it has the sides. And if you look at a parallelogram, the top and bottom or opposite sides are going to be the same length. So the top and bottom is the same length, and the left and right sides are the same length. This is a parallelogram. There are certain parallelograms that also have four equal angles, which would be 90 degrees. So this has at least one pair of parallel sides because it has the top and bottom, so it's a trapezoid. It has two sets of parallel lines because the top and bottom are parallel, the left and right are parallel, and the opposite sides are going to be congruent. The top and bottom is the same measurement, and the left and right are the same measurement. And this is a rectangle because it has 90-degree angles. 90-degree angles in the corner are often marked with a little box like this. You can tell it's 90-degree angles because it looks like a corner. So some parallelograms are rectangles. Another type of parallelogram could be a rhombus. A rhombus, if you start at the top of our hierarchy or tree diagram, is a quadrilateral because it has four sides. It's a trapezoid because it has at least one set of parallel sides. It really has two, so it's a parallelogram. The top and bottom are parallel, and the left and right are parallel. What makes it a rhombus is that all of these sides are the same length. So that means the top and bottom, along with the sides, all are the same measurement. It kind of looks like a square that somebody pushed a little bit because these are not 90-degree angles, but this would be a rhombus. If you continue down our hierarchy, there is a special type of rectangle in rhombus, and that is called a square. A square is a quadrilateral because it has four sides. It has at least one set of parallel lines because the top and bottom are parallel. It has a second pair, which are the sides, which makes it a parallelogram. It's a rectangle because the opposite sides are congruent, and it has four 90-degree angles. And it is a rhombus because all sides are the same length. So when you look at our hierarchy, our tree diagram here, you can see a square can also be called a rectangle, a rhombus, a parallelogram, a trapezoid, a quadrilateral, and a polygon. You can just follow these lines up. You can see that a square is not going to be called a kite because a kite has opposite sides that are the same length, and it does not have 90-degree angles, and you can see that the top two and the bottom are different lengths. So when you follow up your tree diagram, you can just follow up the lines. So a square, all squares are rectangles. You cannot say that all parallelograms are rectangles because you're moving down, and some parallelograms are also rhombuses, and that's a different shape than the rectangle. So when you are doing your finding different names, you always travel up. So think where your arm is going, that all squares are rectangles, rhombuses, parallelograms, trapezoids, quadrilaterals, and these are all polygons. All polygons are not quadrilaterals. We know that there's other polygons, like a three-sided shape, which would be a triangle, or a five-sided, which is a pentagon. So remember, you always have to go up. All quadrilaterals are polygons. All parallelograms are trapezoids. All kites are quadrilaterals. My arm moved up each of those times. All trapezoids are not squares, and we saw pictures of those earlier. All right, again, this is the hierarchy of quadrilaterals, or you could call it a tree diagram.